Hello, welcome to episode 29 of the SWR Darts Coaching Podcast with me, Sean, a full-time professional darts coach in the UK at PDPA Level 1 qualification, a Level 2 candidate. I'm also a JDC Level 2 qualified coach, site right accredited, and I've got various sports science and hypnotherapy certifications. I've not got a degree. Just need to point that out, because someone pointed it out to me very kindly on Facebook a few days ago. Thank you for that. What do I want to talk about in this episode? Well, I just want to recap more than anything on the previous two episodes where we've had Pinion on and Natasha Lloyd. Now, I've been saying on my podcast for absolute ages I wanted to get more people on the podcast and I wanted to chat with more people within the darts game, but not sort of players that are playing in darts, not referees, not officials. And I have got an idea to do something around that later down the line, but it's not really what I want to go down with this podcast. It never was. Alice came on, and obviously Alice talked about the mindset and the psychology side of darts, and Alice is fantastic at that. And if you've not yet picked up her books, go ahead and get them, because they are an absolute fantastic read. And she's turned them into an audio book now, so you can even get it as an audio book. Listen to it as you're on the motorway, etc. And then the last episode we had Natasha Lloyd on. Now, I've known Tash for quite a long time through the darts world. We're both coaches. We were both on the Site Right course together. And we overran on that episode, me and Natasha did. And we do in the next episode, I will tell you now, Natasha's coming back on for the next episode because I want another chat with her. Because I think there's more to peel away on the onion there with Natasha. And not just about the mental game as well. But, trying to get more ladies into darts. I think that's something that no one's looking at the moment. Ladies, your WADCs are there for you. There are events running there, and I just don't see them. I don't know what word I want to use here. The qual of women that should be coming to play darts. And I want to speak to Natasha to get an idea of where she feels the women's game is as well. Because I honestly do think that we should get more women into darts. I've got one lady who comes to me for a coaching session, that's it, on a regular basis. And I speak to other players, and it's mixed and varied. So I'm not quite sure. But again, that's what I want to talk to. But I think the last two episodes have just been fantastic for me to actually get people on and just get a different perspective as well of this game of darts. We've all got our own mindset of how we want to be darts players. And I think for a coach such as myself, who is a learning coach, as I call myself, because I'm constantly looking to better my learning and better my understanding, speaking to people like Alice and Natasha, opened up, my mind a little bit more. And I like to be challenged as well. And I think that's what they both did with various things that were from the last two episodes. So yeah, absolutely wonderful to have them two on. And I hope you've enjoyed them episodes. And if you haven't listened to them, well, you're starting on episode 29. There's 28 other episodes before this one, so get back and get listening to a few other episodes. But I do recommend episode 27 and 28. So for those that know, I have started the PDPA Level 2. We spent 2 sessions in an online Zoom meeting conference, I don't know what you want to class it as, where we were explained about what the course was going to entail, and we were also set down with Callie Hopkins and Chris O'Connor, Callie is a nutritionist and Chris is a hypnotherapist, and we spoke with them very in depth in the Zoom meetings about obviously how nutrition plays a massive part for darts players and how hypnotherapy can play a massive part in helping players get over the dreaded D. Don't forget that the D is not the problem, it is a symptom of the problem. And if you don't know what I mean by the D, head back a few podcast episodes because I speak about it in one of them episodes as well. But then we spent 2 days in Blackburn, and there's 20 of us on the course, 20 coaches, some fantastic people there that have been accepted onto the course, and we had 2 days with Glenn Durrance, Jamie Caven, the two head coaches, if you will, of the PDPA, delivering the course, delivering what they call the blueprint, which is a very well done document. explaining how they are looking for PDPA coaches to coach. And at first I was a little bit worried about this, because I was like, you're going to try and make me coach your way, robotic way. And someone at the actual course did ask the question, you're not looking to go down the football route, are you, where we're trying to get everyone to do the same styles and stuff, and they aren't. And I think that was also a worry of many other people that I'd spoken to pre-course, that's the way they were going to go. But the first day was about Glenn and Jamie delivering the blueprint, explaining to us about what the blueprint is. I'm not the best person at just sitting there listening to people sometimes. So I was making notes. I was also, at the same time, I'm happily admit this, as I was making notes, I was also designing some training plans that I had thought about. So yeah, a bit of a mixtured one for me there. But it was really insightful. And then obviously, over the course of the 2 days, we got to see Jamie and Glenn and how they approached a coaching session. And one thing that stood out to me was how different we all coach. I remember going and watch football coaches back in the day. I was privileged enough to go and watch some of the greatest football managers and football coaches work. And I always tried to take a little thing from each coach and add it into my own football coaching game. But when I came to darts, I didn't have that, because there were no real darts coaches out there when I first started. I've said this before on the podcast. There was Brian Ivey, who was a darts coach at the time. There was a couple other people off the YouTube world, which at the time weren't massively flooded with darts like it is now. So there was no real coaches to sort of go and take inspiration and take ideas from. So you developed your own style. And what I've noticed now is that we all coach different. And I watched Jamie coach a session, and I was like, I wouldn't have done that, I'd have done this. But at the same time, I was like, I wouldn't have thought of doing that, but I suppose you could do that. And then I watched Glenn Durrant, and obviously Glenn's a former Premier League winner, BDO world champion, etc. And I watched him in the session, and he did it very different. Again, his session was also an online session. But we talked at length, me and Glenn did, and Glenn was like, I deliver differently. And I think that's what it's all about, noticing that we all deliver stuff differently. And that's so we should. And I've always said, and I think I said this in very early episodes of my podcast, that I want people to come to me. Of course I do. I'm like that. I want people to come to me. But at the same time, I would encourage anyone, if you want to get better at the game of darts, to go to different coaches and get different ideas from different coaches. Because the way I coach you will be totally different to the way Jamie Caven will coach you. The way I coach you will be totally different to the way Sam Squire will coach you. So you go to different coaches, you're going to get different things, but you're also probably going to get, if it's a good coach and understands what they're doing, you're going to get told the same thing. You're going to get reaffirmation of the right stuff that you're doing. But at the same time as that, you're going to pick up maybe different ways of doing it, so you can then develop your own style. Because effectively, we had a chat with a guy, and he was saying, yeah, but darts is all about your own style, and it is. You've got your style that you develop as a dart player. My role as a coach is to help you develop that style, not to change that style. There isn't a one style fits all, nor should there be, and anyone who tells you that is wrong. I know of coaches, not from the level 2 candidates, I know one of them is a level 1, that is actively trying to encourage his way of throwing, because it works for him on to his players that come to him, his students, clients, whatever you want to call them. Now, I don't believe that's right. When a player comes to me, I don't encourage my style onto them. The one thing I encourage a lot of in my sessions, and I've always talked about it, is visual alignment. I've spent a lot of time doing visual alignment. I'm in the middle of a couple of courses at the moment about, the sort of hand-eye coordination work. That, for me, is the key, crucial area. So, different coaches, different styles, different methodologies. But with the PDPA, what they're trying to do is they're trying to just say, look, we love that, but there's a way we want that to sort of then come across. And we've been given I'm not going to talk about the full assessment on here at the moment, but we've been given what we need to do as coaches to pass the course. It is a fail-pass course. We've got a portfolio that we've got to put together of our experience and our coaching, and we've got to coach players. Now, I've been lucky in the fact that I've managed to get a hold of a new player that I've never met before. He comes in and he starts his journey, and we are going to be working together for probably, a minimum of 4 sessions over 8 weeks, potentially a little bit longer, who knows. And I'm looking forward to seeing that, because I do get quite a few returning players, but I don't get that many, because a lot of people will come for a coaching session and they just want to know that what they're doing is right. They don't want to keep coming back. And that's the problem for a lot of people. I know with the players that I work with who keep coming back, they're getting better, because they're coming back constantly to be reaffirmed on what they're doing. Whereas with this assessment, I'm going to be able to track all that, and the player's going to be able to see all the tracking. I've developed a little bit of software myself, which is going to help me with tracking it. I'm looking forward to seeing if that works, and I'm looking forward to seeing if the PDPA turn around and go, oh, we like what you've done there, Sean, or whether they turn around and go, actually, Sean, you didn't need to do that. It'll probably be the latter of the two now, in my look. But again, I'm just trying to give you an insight to what this level 2 is about. It's not about just the throw. It is about the mindset. It's about taking that player and seeing how we can develop that player from someone who is rough diamond in darts and trying to just polish it so that they're a very smooth dart player. So looking forward to the progress of this PDPA Level 2. As I say, there's some fantastic candidates on the Level 2 course. Had a fantastic time meeting up with a few very good friends there, and of course, meeting up with a couple of people that I knew of and I never really had spoken to before. And now I've been on the phone with them already this week having a chat. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to the PDPA Level 2 progress, and I will keep you updated on future episodes. So I did a thing on TikTok the other day, and I also posted it across other social media channels, where I said, if you've got any questions that you would like to ask away. I said, but if I can't answer them, I won't answer them. And unfortunately, the majority of the questions I got sent, especially in my DM box, were things I can't answer. Why do I keep hitting the 5s? Don't know. Never seen you throw. There are things as a darts coach you will always get asked. And one of the most common ones I always get is, I'm inconsistent with the throw. My reply, consistency starts before you throw a dart. And they don't know what I mean. I'm always hitting the 5s. Why is that? Well, there's possibility of 3 reasons, but until I see you throw, I can't analyse and I can't say for certain. I can't hit the lower half of the board. Why is that? Well, again, I need to see the way you're throwing, but there's probably a high reason that is, and it's probably to do with pivoting. And all these things that people ask you, it gets me because I can't answer them without seeing that player. You can give a guided guesstimate, if you will, but you can't really analyse it fully. But one thing I did get sent was someone asked me, they had a 9-year-old child just getting into darts. They've said they didn't know whether to put the board at half height and half length, but they were advised to put it at full height and full length. Whoever advised you of that, well done. That's my advice always. I don't believe in this half length, half height. It's not my philosophy. It is other coaches' philosophies. It's not mine. He's like, I don't know what to do though, because he just wants to hit the 20. Help me. And I saw that and I was like, that's the type of thing I love. That's the type of thing I'm going to attack. So I've contacted the person. I've invited them. I've invited them to book in for a session, obviously, but I have invited them to have a chat with me on the phone on a video call, because straight away there I get where that kid's coming from. He watches TV and he's not seen, he's not hitting 180s, he's not hitting 170 finishes and all that. And again, my philosophy is that's not what darts is. It's just a small part of it, don't forget. So I spoke to his dad and I was like, listen, have you ever played the game of Islands? He's like, I don't know what that is. I was like, right. So I explained it. He's like, oh, okay, yeah, I get that. Make 21. Now, Make 21 is a game that originally was on Go Darts Pro. I've adapted it slightly from their version, but it's a fantastic game. So we used that. I then played the 1-2-3 challenge with him, and his dad was like, but he's not playing darts. And it was the common thing I knew it was coming in a way. He's not playing darts though, is he? I went, yeah, of course he is. I said, it's how you look at it. Just because you're not playing a game of 01, we presume we're not playing darts. But we shouldn't be training 01, we should be training the elements of 01. And this is what I was coming across to his dad. Anyway, long story short, I'm looking forward to them coming in, hopefully for a session. And the video call that we've already had an initial chat over the phone, and that went well. And I've sent him one of my training plans, which you can purchase on my website, of course. But I've sent him one of my training plans in hope that he gets into doing that and sees the benefit of doing all these small individual games. And then if he goes and plays a game of 01, he sees the benefit of what he's been doing in training to now benefiting him as a darts player on that board. And I'm not saying that just by doing the individual training things I'm going to make you hit 180s and big finishes, but what I'm doing is helping you get better at the game, helping your fundamentals get better at the game, better understanding, better working of the game. But again, most of the stuff I did get asked was stuff I really can't answer, which is why am I hitting the 5s, why I struggle down on the 19s, I don't know if my shoulder's in the right place. These things you can't answer as a darts coach. It's the same when I do a TikTok live. You can't answer half of these stuff because you need to see the player. And the moment you tell me you go to a coach, that's just typical of you, isn't it? Trying to get more money out of people. No, I'm trying to help more people, but I don't do things for free. So, as we do in every episode, I'm going to finish with a little training routine for you. This one, though, however, isn't on my website. This was on my Facebook page. So if you scroll over to my Facebook page, go back to, I think it was around the 23rd of June-ish, you'll see this little small training routine. I think it's a really fun little routine to do at home. So it's 3 little games, okay, and we start with the 20 and back. So what this is, you start at the 1 and you're going round the board all the way to the 20, and then you hit the 20 again, you go all the way back round the board to get to the 1. Now you do this clockwise, you do not do this numerical, you do this clockwise. And the aim is to see how many darts it takes you to go from 1 all the way round to the 20, 20 all the way back round to the 1. Now you can hit any part of the number. So if you came up and you went 1, 18, 4, you're coming back for 13. If you went treble 13, treble 6, treble 10, you're coming back for 15. So it's any part of the number. How many darts does it take you? Go to 20 and then 20 back to the 1. Now, of course, you can ramp it up a little bit. So what I have done in the past when I've done this little routine is I've done the 1 to 20, 20 to 1 on singles, and then I've asked the player to do the same going for the trebles. But then when I've said we're going for the trebles, we give lives out. So if you miss it within 6 darts, the treble you're after within 6 darts, you fail that game, and whatever you got to is what you got to. But it's a good little starting warm-up game. Then we moved into the 2-4-2. Now, this is random. This is beyond random. I've been doing the 2-4-2 for a while as a ball management game, and it's odd because if I asked you right now to think of a number in the 200s that you consistently see as you're playing darts, I'm going to guess you'll probably see something between the 230 and 260 mark. So I just always pick 2-4-2. And what you do is you basically start a game of darts on 2-4-2, and you have 12 darts to finish the game. Now, 12 darts from 2-4-2 is very tough for a lot of players. I respect that as well. You might not be at that level. Now, we do this 10 times, but the way I say it is this way. 2-4-2, with 12 darts. If you finish 2-4-2, you get 5 points. If you missed a double to finish 2-4-2, you get 3 points. And if you leave a finish, you get 2 points. So again, you're playing 10 times, but there's points involved now as well. How many points can you get? But the aim is to try and finish 2-4-2 and 12 darts. And then we finish with something that everyone's talking about at the moment. We hear it on all the podcasts, all the social media channels. 101 double in, double out. I've been doing 101, 201s, 151 double in, double outs for a while now. Again, the principle behind what some of the other coaches out there say is that you're throwing more darts towards a double is correct. But yeah, we start on 101. It's double in, double out. You've got 6 darts though to finish 101, and if you fail in your 6 darts, you award the leg away. So if you do it in 6, you get the leg. If you don't, you award the leg away. And you play it as a little best of 21 match. So it's first to 11 legs. Again, really good little fun training routine. Can probably take you, in theory, it shouldn't be taking you any longer than 40 minutes. 40 minutes to an hour. Happy days. Covering all the main focuses of darts, really, which is the power scoring and the setup work. So I hope you enjoyed this little short podcast. It's only been a short one today. just recapping on what's been happening for myself as a darts coach, and obviously, once again, recapping on the previous 2 episodes, which I highly encourage you to head out and listen to with Alice Pinion and Natasha Lloyd. Fantastic episodes they were. Episode 30, up and coming. So I'm going to be filming and recording episode 30 in a couple of weeks. Episode 30 will have Natasha Lloyd back. I think Natasha might become a regular around this podcast. She thoroughly enjoyed it. I know from the feedback it was well received as well. Natasha will be back on episode 30. And then hopefully on episode 31, I have a coach from another sport coming to talk to me about the similarities between his sport and my sport. And you'll be shocked to learn how many similarities there are in every sport as a coach, whether it be tennis, snooker, paddle, golf. There's similarities in every sport. Looking forward to getting him on and having a chat with him. And that'll be episode 31, so that's a little bit further down the line. Probably coming up to around August time, that will be. Thank you very much for listening to this episode. I really do appreciate it. If you've got any questions, any comments, feel free to put them down. Feel free to email me. Feel free to reach out to me on social media. I am very active on social media. I try and reply to everything I can. If you're on YouTube, I don't know what's going on with the algorithm here on YouTube, but apparently now you can add comments on here as well. But like and share the podcast. If you've enjoyed it, please give me a review as well. Like and share it, all of that jazz. It helps me to get this podcast more to more darts players. If you're after one-to-one darts coaching, again, I'm now in my new place. I'm in my new unit here in Stoke-on-Trent. It's absolutely a lovely place. It's a bit warm today, but we are in the middle of what is called summer. It's not a heat wave, it's called summer. Grab a Solero and have a day off. But yeah, we're all set up now for darts coaching here in Stoke-on-Trent in my new place. And we've got another TV going in soon, so we've got then analysis on the cameras onto the TV. That'll be interesting once that gets going as well. But everything you can find me is online, swrdartscoaching.co.uk, or you can reach out on email to me at podcast@swrdartscoaching.co.uk. Until the next episode, thank you once again for listening, and darts players, take care, keep enjoying the game.